I did show a brief on the enterprise that are built in this side of the country. These are all very difficult companies to build. It's not easy at all. How do they measure up on a global scale, and where is a gap that is worth closing?
I think the businessmen out here truly understand the nuts and bolts of business, and which is why some of the toughest businesses get built here.
I want to say, especially on the liminality part of it, because I keep hearing this recurring conversation, especially about Calcutta and especially from people in Calcutta in the East.
You are, the way I look at you, you are all about building strong relationships. And
wealth and asset management business is a business of relationship and trust. But like you said, it's not an input, it's an output.
So thanks a lot, gentlemen. I have a few questions to ask. Please be super transparent. There is no media in the room, so you can speak your heart out, right? So first question to you, Shaji. Shaji, this is the second edition, and I just wanted to understand, how do you see this event, right? I did mention about the story in Hyderabad wherein we did an event and how that resulted in some sort of investment for startups. So we really want to make some meaningful impact to all this, right? So how do you see this this initiative, and how do you think this should progress?
Sure. So thank you so much for this question. But first of all, welcome everyone to this evening, and congratulations to many of you who are also going to be receiving awards tonight. But I must congratulate you as well, Anas. And I don't miss this opportunity of congratulating you, because I've known this guy for 10 years, and the stuff that he has built under the brand of Hurun is unbelievable.
Thank you.
The brand talks for itself, really. So, and today I got to know that he started the company in the year 2012. I was wondering, was he a major at that point in time to start this? He looks so young. So, with that, I've known Anas for about 10 years. I've been part of the Hurun for at least 4-5 times that I've seen him doing such events. The last time around when we actually hosted this in Hyderabad, I felt there is an ecosystem that is built in Hyderabad where entrepreneurs and promoters actually met some of the upcoming futuristic businesses. And that has resulted in the room, actually a transaction where eventually I got to know one of our large family offices in Hyderabad invested in a company which is upcoming futuristic, which is called Dhruva Aerospace.
Yeah.
That's what you're referring to, right?
Yeah.
So I got to know from Raj, who actually invested in the company. So if all of us can think through a model here in Calcutta, where we could create that platform and ecosystem for promoters, wealthy promoters here, to actually encourage some of these upcoming futuristic businesses, whether it is defense, aerospace, deep tech, all of those. If that can be done, that'll be a great achievement. From Neo perspective, I think this could be a catalyst for us to look at this very seriously. We have certain, we've been in touch and been managing and been advising some of these founders on their personal wealth. And majority of these founders are based out of either Bangalore, NCR, and Hyderabad and different parts of the country. Why couldn't we get them over here to Hyderabad actually to Calcutta to create an ecosystem here? And if that happens, Arun, Anas, that'll be a great achievement collectively from all of us. And I look forward to an event. I look forward to an event where other founders from other locations actually travel into Calcutta and talk about what they have achieved and create an ecosystem here. Yeah. So
no, I think your experience of investing at angel space, that will have a lot of value there if at all you roll out such an initiative.
Because there are the great colleges here. There is IIT Kharagpur, there is IIM Calcutta. By the way, Varun is from IIM Calcutta. And there's so much of art and culture in this country. And why can't the same ecosystem exist in Calcutta? It's something I think collectively we can think through and build something with the help and blessing of everyone here.
Yeah. The next is to Hemant. You look at companies across India and outside of it. Enterprise. I did show a brief on the enterprise that are built in this side of the country, and these are all very difficult companies to build. It's not easy at all, right? How do they measure up on a global scale, and where is a gap that is worth closing?
So, Interesting question. First, just want to give a background of myself. Born and brought up in Calcutta, studied here. And when I was passing out of college from Xavier's, मुझे हमेशा ऐसा लगता था कि इतना इंटेलिजेंस है, but सब लोग कैलकाटा छोड़ के जा क्यों रहे हैं? And like all my friends, I chose to go to Mumbai. And today is like a very, it's like a deja vu. You come back to Calcutta and you are speaking at this event. It's such a beautiful moment. मतलब I can't tell you कि 22 साल बाद मैं कैलकाटा आया हूँ और इस इवेंट का पार्ट हूँ. इससे ब्यूटीफुल मोमेंट नहीं हो सकता मेरी लाइफ के लिए. तो योर क्वेश्चन, yes. See, I'm from this part of the world. So I'll tell you, there is something special in Calcutta. I think the businessmen out here truly understand the nuts and bolts of business. And which is why some of the toughest businesses get built here. Steel, cement, logistics, ये बहुत tough businesses है. और इसमें क्या है ना, वो आटा दाल चावल का दाम पता होना चाहिए, तो वो तो देखो यहीं पे लोगों को समझ में आता है. I think we are damn cost efficient. We've built businesses at scale. You take Shri Cement, Shyam Metallics, Ultratech, and so many other companies that have got built from here. I think they are truly world class. When it comes to cost efficiency, they are truly world class, Anas. I think in some areas, so for example in steel, I think in technology we can evolve more. Because जितना इवॉल्व करेगी टेक्नोलॉजी में, मुझे लगता है उतना हम एक्सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं टू यूरोपियन कंट्रीज. अदरवाइज क्या है ना, कार्बन टैक्स लगा देगा वो हम पे. So Tata Steel is doing something like that. They are putting up a hydrogen DRI plant, and I'm sure a lot of other founders in this room will be doing that. I was reading about Vivek's company Jupiter Wagons, and I've actually fallen in love with what he's doing. I think freight cost कम करना भी बहुत important है. मुझे लगता है India suffers from freight cost. 16, 17, 18, 20% freight cost में हम कहीं competitive नहीं हो सकते. I think reducing freight cost in cement, adapting better technologies, and I just think being more bold. I think up till now, given the overhang that Calcutta had of the ecosystem, you couldn't be bold. जब तुमको पता है कि environment इतना अच्छा नहीं है ना, तुम थोड़ा सहमे में रहते हो. But अब पहली बार environment बहुत अच्छा हो गया, and I see a lot of new gen in this room, people who are extremely bold, people who will change the fortune of some of these companies big time. I'm actually very, very hopeful, and I'm betting big time on the new gen in Calcutta. मुझे ना उनमें एक spark लगता है, confidence and spark and boldness, and I think that will take Calcutta places in my personal view.
Right, very good, very well spoken. And Varun, the moment I met you, the first time I met you itself, right? I think it was like a 20 minutes meeting, and we spent like 2 hours. And and you are so passionate about any business or any entrepreneur you meet, and you started getting into how I should grow Hurun. There should be a plan. We put the entire roadmap. It was a very exciting sort of meeting. So the way I look at you, you are all about building strong relationships, and this business and any business, and this specifically is about building trustworthy relationship. And when a relationship-based business gets this big, Neo Wealth should be among the top 5, maybe the top 10 for sure in the country.
They're already a leader.
Oh, the leader, absolutely. I just want to be from a compliance standpoint, be careful. But when it gets this big, what is the first thing that you've done to institutionalize trust?
Thanks for the question, Anas. If you don't mind, I'm going to take a side tour to a couple of the earlier questions and then come back to it as well. Firstly, I must congratulate Hurun. Thanks for remembering that conversation. You're an incredible individual, and you've built an incredible organization. So we look forward to the association, and thank you all, everyone, for so patiently listening to us. I wanted to say a couple of things. Firstly, I also want to establish my Calcutta credentials. Hemant ne to he took all my joy away. But I studied in IIM Calcutta. My wife is from IIM Calcutta. We have the loveliest memories of this place. I want to say, especially on the liminality part of it, because I keep hearing this recurring conversation, especially about Calcutta, and especially from people in Calcutta in the East. My first submission would be, I think the East would do well to remind itself of its glorious heritage. You are the nerve, you were at one point the nerve center of this country. I'm not joking, even large business community people in Bombay today do not feel satisfied unless they get implicit approval ratings from Calcutta. You're not a good businessman in Bombay जब तक आपकी Calcutta roots नहीं बोलते हैं कि यार तुम अच्छा कर रहे हो. So ये तो Calcutta की power है. तो मुझे कभी समझ नहीं आता है कि ये हम लोग discussion करते हैं. बस मैं एक philosophical point बोलना चाहता हूँ, and then I'll answer Anas's point. You know, for many centuries, the world over and in India, building forts was the biggest security technology. So if you were a king, the biggest thing you could do to be powerful and strong was to build amazing forts. And you can see the transition and improvement in fort structure and design the world over, till gunpowder was invented. And overnight, a skill, an art, a technology which had been perfected over centuries just went out of the window, and it took a lot of time. So जो लोग किलों में बैठे थे, उनको बहुत समय लगा ये सोचने में कि अब करना क्या है, क्योंकि अब सामने दो आदमी गन पाउडर लेके खड़ा है, हमारे इतने बड़े-बड़े किले रातों रात टूट जा रहे हैं. I think for industry, the world in general, it is that moment. There has been a massive shift in earlier. You know, the East was very good at labor arbitrage, which is core to business. I think labor arbitrage is going to go out of the window with AI and robotics. Regulated businesses are going to become difficult to regulate with the advent of AI. So all we are saying is, Hemant made a very correct point. You are the place, and this is the place where all manufacturing, I think India can do well to make more and learn from people who are used to making. मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा power लगती है East में. We are very thrilled and excited, and that's why this is all happening. So sorry for the very long response. On trust, I would just say, Anas, I think trust is a long-term. Trust is an output. It can never be an input. आप बोल के trust जीत ही नहीं सकते हैं. हमें अभी 5 साल हुए हैं नियो में. मैं एक बहुत humbly submission दूंगा. There are lots of clients sitting here, etc. We pride ourselves on the fact, and you know, Hemant, I rank Hemant, my friend, I'm not speaking as Hemant from Neo. Hemant is one of the best investors I know in the country across asset classes, and the large team that we run. I think our performance, how we have stood with clients, I am very, very keen every time we go into client meetings to say कि सर बाकी बातें बाद में करते हैं, पहले पोर्टफोलियो ने क्या किया उस पर बात करें, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है ये भी थोड़ा फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज से गायब हो गया है. चाय पानी, wife's birthday cake, wealth has become very good at doing. You get a cake for some anniversary, but very few people start the conversation by saying, can we put that aside and just talk about what the portfolio is doing. So sorry for my long response, but I think we are on that incremental journey, and our clients are very kind to us.
Very rightly said. You know, rightly said.
So Anas, just to add to what he said, as you know, wealth and asset management business is a business of relationship and trust. But like he said, it's not an input, it is an output. Unless you perform and continuously and consistently, the trust gets compounded over and over a period of time. And that's the way these businesses are run. And look at businesses globally, wealth and asset management are running over decades, as in centuries. All those brands are built because they performed very well, and the trust was built over performance over a long period of time. That's so true.
Hemant, I would ask the next question to you, and maybe the Kolkata boy can support you or add to those questions. So something has happened in West Bengal.
We are the two odd men out.
Yeah. The government has changed after so many years, right? We're not going to comment on the government performance or whatever, right? But it is a big systemic change that's happened in this part of the region. What is the sort of expectation or wishful thinking that you have for the next 24 months in terms of what should happen to this region?
See, it's like getting independence after 50 years. I think that is what Calcutta would be experiencing right now. I've experienced it for a long period of time, but truly everybody will be feeling liberated. Or I think when the ecosystem is peaceful and you know that you won't be harassed, business is going to be encouraged, business is not going to be get looked down upon. I think that is when true business spirit shines. See, business spirit was always there. But if the environment is very difficult, what will you do? I mean, every day you can't go to get office and get harassed and you say, अच्छा मैं jobs दे रहा हूँ, but फिर भी मेरे को harassment दे दो थोड़ा, right? तो I think मुझे लगता है बहुत ही बड़ा tectonic shift है ये, and I am actually, मतलब मैं confident नहीं हूँ, मैं 300% sure हूँ that something magical will happen in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I think animal instinct is back when I speak to everybody in the room. I think people are super bullish. And capability तो हमेशा से थी, तो yeah, good times to be in this region.
Or
I'll just add on, एक तो, and this is not a regime or government related point. The one thing, and you'll please see me, and we are all full of the same spirit of India, right? I think all of us feel it in our hearts. लगता है यार इतना बड़ा देश, इतने काबिल लोग. सबसे पहला तो सीक्रेट यही है, मैं अब एंटरप्रेन्योर की तरह बोल रहा हूँ, मुझे लगता है हर एंटरप्रेन्योर को पता होता है कि उसके बिजनेस की स्ट्रेंथ क्या है और वीकनेस क्या है, उसने क्या चीज़ें अच्छी बनाई हैं और कहाँ पे कॉर्नर्स कट किए हैं. आई थिंक वी ऑल ओwe it to ourselves to start building specialized businesses. We are trying very hard to do that at Neo. हम लोग ऑलरेडी एक बहुत बड़ी वेल्थ फर्म चला रहे थे. मैं सबसे सारे क्लाइंट से पूछता हूँ कि नई फर्म चलाने की ज़रूरत ही क्या थी. Actually, it has brought a lot of effort and hard work into our lives. But old machines will not serve new India. And that's true for as much, I think, true for your business as it is for mine. So that is the first thing I would say. And the second thing is, I would also exhort businesses in the East to embrace a little more risk. मतलब बड़ा मुझे paradoxical लगता है. Actually, we look to the East and businessmen and businesswomen from the East as people who have taught this country how to do business. लेकिन जब रिस्क और आगे देखने का समय आ रहा है, मुझे आप विश्वास करिए, मैं आपकी परमिशन के साथ थोड़ा फ्रीली बोल रहा हूँ, सबसे ज़्यादा हिचकिचाहट ईस्ट में ही दिखती है. दिल्ली में हमारे जितने क्लाइंट्स हैं, मैं बहुत ज़्यादा जनरलाइज कर रहा हूँ, बट जस्ट टू ऐड सम तड़का टू दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन, अदरवाइज आप दिल्ली में जाइए, मेरा मेंटल मैपिंग है, दिल्ली में मोस्ट ऑफ आवर बिग क्लाइंट्स हु आर फ्रैंकली इक्वली सोफिस्टिकेटेड, दे आर सोफिस्टिकेटेड इन देयर ओन वेज, ऑपरेट विद अ लॉट मोर ब्लाइंड ट्रस्ट समटाइम्स. वरुण जी आप बोल रहे हैं तो चलिए करते हैं, आप कुछ सोच के बोल रहे होंगे, एंड आई थिंक उसके कुछ मेरिट्स हैं, ऐसा नहीं कि एवरीथिंग वी आर सेइंग इज राइट. East and Calcutta especially seems very locked into fixed income only. I'm talking from a very neutral standpoint. If we start talking fixed income instruments and coupons and yields here, everybody is very interested. लेकिन अभी मैं आपको बोलूँ कि चलिए 20 साल के लिए किसी AI प्लेटफॉर्म में इन्वेस्ट करना है क्या, इतने बड़े बड़े उद्योगपति इस कमरे में बैठे हैं, लेकिन we don't see the same hearty yes. So मेरा submission ये है, the world is changing, maybe as an asset allocation way only, start putting out a bit of portfolio to sort of set out on that new adventure which made this region so successful in the first place.
Okay, so, I have to ask you this question because in the family business list, Kolkata comes number 3 in our list, right? In terms of the third generation entrepreneurs and above, right? Based on your experience of dealing with such families all over the country, being part of the fastest growing wealth management firm in the country, how would you approach in this region in terms of building continuity and growth in the family business?
So third generation means all the youngsters, you mean, Anas? That's what I would take from the question that you have. Young generation means they would want to invest in underlying instruments which are more futuristic in nature. And you've seen a pattern emerging, not necessarily here. Obviously, I'm going to spend a lot of time here to figure out what is the right ecosystem one can build here. But outside of Calcutta, when I interact with the second, third generation youngsters who studied globally, come back to India, there is an appetite to build portfolios outside of the typical fixed income that Varun spoke about, right? Everyone that I've met, all of them are aspirationally wanting to build their own business and also contribute to the society in a way that they can invest in some of these startups and some of these upcoming futuristic companies and sectors and to get involved in this whole process. That's a big shift and big change that I'm seeing. Everyone that I come across, everybody wants to do this. And there is a small a subdivision of it, a division of it, I would say, is also looking to manage the money of the family. And in a way, managing the money of the family, which is running the family office, also means you're looking for an opportunity to invest in India and globally in things which are not seen by India, or in India, things may not have been seen by some of the states, right? So I've seen a big shift there, and their pattern of investing is completely different from what I've seen, what our parents or our patriarchs have done. Yeah, so my piece of advice is, again, there is a moment for us. There is a great opportunity to build something which we've not built so far, and we could focus on that, and all of us in the ecosystem should come together and do something meaningfully, is what I feel.
Yeah.
Can I just add one line?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I think I'm taking up too much airtime on this panel. One thing I also want to say is, I think all of us are playing India like a zero-sum game. मैं इसको भी थोड़ी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, इसके बारे में भी सोचें. India is not a zero-sum game anymore. In fact, the world expects us to just expand the pie. लेकिन कई बार I think old habits die hard. We go back to being local businesses, localized businesses competing with each other for fragmented small markets. Actually, अगर आप देखें, हमारी education, हमारी demographics have now positioned us so well to go out and conquer the world. कभी यूएस भी तो बाहर निकला होगा ना, कभी चाइना भी तो बाहर निकला होगा कि चलो यार थोड़ा दुनिया भी थोड़ा जीतें. आई थिंक थोड़ा दुनिया जीतने का और साथ में जीतने का, एक दूसरे के साथी होके, एक दूसरे का सहारा बन के. Japanese firms, I don't know if you know, Japanese firms have this unwritten rule that if one bidder is bidding for a global asset, no competition will put in a competing bid as a courtesy, even though they are competitors and even that asset is super valuable. But that is where I think a bit of being together comes in. So I think that's also something we all should think about. ये कहना आसान है, लेकिन एक बार थोड़ा देश सब लोग mindset बनाएं तो आगे कुछ progress हो.
On that note, can you give a big round of applause to
Thank you so much.
founders of Neo Wealth? Thank you very much.